Alright, guys. Been a long day. Still waiting on my coffee. I gotta wait for it. But we're here. Yeah. We're up. Alright, there's NVIDIA, there's the SPY. We had Meta earnings yesterday. What's Meta doing? Meta, all the way up to 504 is very, very strong earnings. You can kind of see it here. We do have jobless claims unemployment today. Alright. Where's ARM at? ARM is down. Finally bouncing back a little bit. QCOM's still trying to bounce too. What's up, K? I'm good. Let me do a poll. Alright, so today's jobless claims report show up higher or lower than the expected at 236. Oh yeah, we got Apple, Amazon earnings this afternoon too. Alright, so 236 is what's expected. We got that poll live. Does today's jobless claims report show up higher or lower? All right, we're here. We had the FOMC meeting. Who's shorting Apple and Amazon with me? Not me today, bro. Not me, dude. Apple. Oh, I need some coffee. Apple at 223s, 224s. Apple looks pretty good. Tech stocks are gapping up. NVIDIA gapped up. This morning, we've got Roblox. We've got a whole gang of reports this morning. We got Moderna, Crocs, Roblox, ConocoPhillips, Wayfair, Eaton. You know, Crocs makes a lot of money, to be honest. Crocs, you'd be surprised at how healthy of a company Crocs is. Especially if you watch the movie like Idiocracy and then look at Crocs, you'd be surprised at how strong of a company they are. Hey, they've got a really nice yearly chart. They were at $100. You know, they're up 40% on the year, which is crazy. You know, 40%, which means that if you invest $1,000, you're going to be up $400 on that $1,000 investment over the last 52 weeks. That's a crazy percentage gain. For a shoe company like this, you know. Yeah. They made it cool to wear Crocs, you know. But they're supposed to release their numbers for Crocs at 7 a.m., so we got 10 minutes before they drop. Yeah, we trade the New York Open. I like NVIDIA price where it's at now. Hey, what's up, Eric? What's up, Ray? What's up, Kay? I like Crocs too. Yeah. I'll wear them as well. I have to wear them, you know. They're easy. I like slip-onables. Like stuff that I could just slip on. And Crocs are definitely slip-onables. Anyways, so yeah, guys, I was thinking, so would you guys rather it dark and gloomy like I've always had it? Or would you guys rather? Would you guys rather me turn the light on? It's almost kind of different in here with the light on in the morning. I definitely wake up like faster. Like I'm up right now. Like the lights just came on. I'm up. What would you guys prefer? It's definitely brighter. It's probably better for my eyes too. Let me put a timer up. So we got about an hour and... We got about an hour and 40 minutes. I think it might really 38 and a half minutes. Yeah. What other charts would you guys rather up? Carvana, man. Carvana, if it just holds its gains. But man, Carvana is up again. Carvana up from 130s all the way to 150s. What a crazy move. You know, when you get the people's support in terms of like stocks, you can really kind of see it. Like, look at that. Like, Carvana up a huge amount. A huge amount. Yeah, Carvana, crazy. Like, look. We'll put the chart up. Here's Carvana. The crazy chart is when you put up a weekly chart for Carvana. This thing dropped down to $3.55 a share. I remember when this happened. Yeah, it's making me yawn, all the lights being on. I remember when this happened. It happened because they almost went bankrupt, if I remember correctly. Or they might have gone bankrupt and done like a reorganizational Chapter 11, but I don't think they did. I have to go back and see. Here, this is where AI pays dividends, to be honest, right? Like for $20 a month, I can have something that can query anything that I want. Oh wait, this is the wrong email. Let me log out. There we go. I can't remember what the code is here. I gotta. Is that it? Okay, that's it. All right. It's kind of crazy how many passwords I have backed up in my brain, you know. I probably got like 25 passwords. None of them are easy either, you know, but like your brain remembers random numbers. Anyways. Yeah, so what's fun is that, like, look, I could pull AI. This is why AI is going to be big, right? I could pull AI up and say, why did CVNA stock drop to $3.55 a share in late 2022? And look how fast it answers that. Carvana reported significant financial losses, increasing debt and negative cash flow, raising concerns about long-term viability. For example, in the third quarter, Carvana reported a net loss of $508. The broader economic environment was challenging, with rising interest rates and inflation impacting customer spending and borrowing. This negatively affected the auto industry, particularly the companies relying on financing like Carvana. They faced operational challenges, including difficulties in scaling. The overall market sentiment was bearish for stocks, especially those yet not profitable. As a high-growth company with mounting losses, Carvana was particularly vulnerable to the shift in investor sentiment, and the used car market saw fluctuations in demand and pricing, with pricing for used cars peaking and then starting to decline, and this trend affected Carvana's profit margins. Like, look how fast AI will say, this is why. Like, it knows immediately. Like, that the fact that I can query this fast is incredibly useful for anybody. If you're not using AI you're losing out on super easy stuff. Like, this builds businesses. What were your thoughts on Powell's speech? I thought Powell was surprisingly restrictive. I thought Powell was surprisingly restrictive. I thought he was much more restrictive than I thought he was going to be. He was much more restrictive than I thought he was going to be. He was much more restrictive, much more hawkish. But I also thought, which is what I thought. I thought he would pause and then have a dovish chat, or I thought he would pause and then have a hawkish chat, and then he might raise rates in September. And so I'm pretty sure he's going to raise rates in September. Like, the analysts asked him, and you could just kind of tell, like, the base case right now. He didn't want to say it, right? Like, he didn't want to say it, but you could tell they're probably going to raise, or they're probably going to cut, in September, not raise it. I'm sorry. They're probably going to cut rates in September. You could just tell that's what they're going to do. As long as inflation doesn't spike in any type of crazy, like, high inflation way, they're going to cut, let's see, the Fed meeting was on the 31st of July. The next one is in September. So the next one's going to be mid-September. I don't know the actual date, but just judging, they're 6 weeks from now, right? So that's mid-September. And mid-September, they're going to cut rates unless inflation shows big problems. And again, if you look at like the CME watch tool, so this thing actually pivoted, not between look, so now it's only 86% of people expecting a 25 basis point and 14% of people expecting a 50. Right, so nobody's expecting a 7.5 cut anymore. The only people betting a 7.5 down were people that were betting 25 basis points today, or 50 basis points today, which is silly. Again, but it all depends on the macroeconomic state. So we'll see. What's up, Katie? Cut means reduce the federal funds rate. So Raven, to try to explain it, I always try to help people understand economics, right? This is really easy to understand. It seems kind of intimidating at first, and like there's a lot of jargon that gets thrown around, like quantitative easing and quantitative tightening, and that might scare people from really trying to understand it. There's a quote in The Big Short that I know I'm not going to get it verbatim, right? Like exactly right. But the quote goes something like, bankers love to use big words and throw around big words so that people don't understand them, or more so so people just leave them alone and let them do what they want to do, right? This is very true. Again, you get words like quantitative tightening, quantitative easing, like all these big words that you don't even like. Quantitative easing just means the Fed is desperate to reduce interest rates, and so they print up a bunch of money, inject liquidity into banking and bonds, and this allows banks to lower interest rates faster to consumers, right? Like that's what quantitative easing is. Quantitative tightening is the opposite, where the Fed doesn't inject that liquidity into the bond market and instead reduces their balance sheet, taking liquidity away from those markets and causing banks and other institutions to keep interest rates high. Anyways, the point of that is to bring interest rates down for quantitative easing and bring them up for quantitative tightening. The Fed, it's all based off of inflation. If inflation is really bad, right, the Fed is not going to cut rates, and they shouldn't cut rates, and they should want to really do damage to inflation, because the higher interest rates are for the longer periods of time, the less worries about inflation we have, the more they're going to damage inflation and bring inflation down to more reasonable levels, or at least slow it down to more reasonable levels, I should say. On the other end of that, if you keep interest rates too high for too long, you can get signs like recessions and depressions. But honestly, in my opinion, this whole thing is ridiculous. Like, this whole thing is ridiculous. Like, people acting like interest rates are at some type of like crazy highs right now are crazy. Like, yeah, the Federal Reserve did a bunch of rate hikes like a year and a half ago, 1.8 years or so ago. They did a bunch of rate hikes. They raised the federal funds rate. But when you take it into context here, like, look at this. When you take it into context, This is the last 40 years, 45 years. Look at where interest rates were in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the early 90s, right? They were 10, 12, 15, 20%, roughly, almost 20, you know? So like us being here right now for short-term interest rates, they were higher than this in 2008. You know, they were higher than this in 2007, I mean. Really right around the same spot. They were higher than this in the 90s, in the late 90s. They were much higher than this in the late 80s. They were much higher than this in the early 80s. Right? And so acting like interest rates are at some crazy like high break, higher than they've ever been, it's just not true. And the people that are really complaining are mortgage people and lenders, you know, real estate people. Outside of them, keeping interest rates high for longer is better, is good. But again, I think they're getting pressure to cut. That's the only reason we cut. None of the economic data, like Powell basically said the economy looks good, but we're going to cut anyway. And I don't agree with that. You know, I know they want to stimulate the environment or stimulate the economy. But yeah, I'm just not really. I just don't think it's a good move, you know. Yeah, the Bank of England has their rate decision today. They're expected a 25 basis point cut to 5 from 5.25. It drops right now. So the Bank of England rate decision is like right now. And they did that. They cut. They voted cut down to 5 from 5.25%. Yeah, so here's their numbers right here. Crocs way down. Crocs earnings are out. So Crocs is crashing down on earnings. I'm trying to figure out what their earnings are. Crocs, ConocoPhillips posted 198 versus 194. Net income of 2.3. They expected 2.35. BDPS missed revenue for ConocoPhillips. Still waiting for Crocs' numbers to refresh here. But Crocs numbers are out, and they're dropping. Crocs is up too much, too, and for me to really want to buy it. Down to 130, so maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, there's Crocs right there. Crocs posted $4.01 EPS, beat the $3.56 estimate. Sales at 1.11 beat the 1.10 estimate. There's Crocs on the screen. Big issue is the squeeze of lower and middle as wage growth has not kept up with costs. Sure, that's inflation. Right, the real problem, again, is inflation, Zach. Inflation. Like, what happens is this, all right? Like, the issue is really easy to see. All right, prices get raised too much because of inflationary spikes, because of a low interest rate environment. And this is the easiest way to put it, right? Inflation goes up. Why? Because of a low interest rate environment and the quantitative easing we have to do, the stimulus checks we sent out in 2020 also are hurting things, or did hurt things, caused inflation to spike. And so when landlords' costs go up, what do you think they do to consumers, right? They're about to raise your rent. And so it's all made worse by inflation. And the real reason people are unhappy is genuinely inflation, right? And how do you combat inflation? You keep interest rates high. You know, you got a lot of people. It's surprising how many people have the other mindset where it's like, hey, you know, if we just lower interest rates, it's going to help us. It's going to make problems worse. It's going to make everything higher, not lower. You know, it's going to cause more spending. Yeah, Amazon today, Apple today, huge report. ARM actually dropped a lot. We're actually slightly red today, mostly from Treasury bills falling down a little bit. You know, but with T-bill, these drop. Yeah, Crocs is bouncing back though. With T-bill, these drop. Nvidia back up. Yeah, this dropped down to 49.80s, and then it'll come right back. All right, guys. Crocs still bouncing back. We got a couple other earnings today, too. We had like mRNA dropping. They're down to 105s. Crocs all the way back up, though. So yeah, Crocs all the way back up. All right, guys. Yeah, look at Crocs, guys. Crocs all the way back up at 138. So Crocs has come all the way back up. Interesting. Do you have any advice on missing the boat on the trade? So I don't give out advice. I have no idea what's going to happen. If you miss a trade, there's always another one. Just don't get too emotional about it, you know. What's up, Sugar Ray? I'm getting FOMO on NVIDIA. If you haven't got in yet, what price would you think is a good get-in long-term hold? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. It depends on how long you're willing to hold it, to be honest. So yeah, it really just depends on how long you're willing to hold it, you know. Amazon's going to crush it today. Yeah, Amazon, Apple earnings. Croc going green on the day, just broke highs. Croc up to 142. Inflation because of money printing, sure. You know. Why do you think they're printing the money, though? It's to bring interest rates down. Again, look at NVIDIA, the SPY, all up over. SPY at 553s. Crocs still trying to bounce back a little bit. I'm trying to see some other earnings. We got a bunch of other earnings dropping this morning. Again, we got ConocoPhillips. All right, so Bank of England 2024 inflation and GDP forecasts were raised. 25 and 26 forecasts remain unchanged. So 2024, they got 2.75% inflation expectations. They expected 2.5%, or previously they were 2.5%, so 2.75% is now their expectation. 2025, they're expecting 2.25%, so they do believe inflation is going to get better next year. 2026, they're expecting 1.5%. 2024, they're expecting 1.25% growth, 1% growth in 2025, 2026, 1.25%. So those are the Bank of England's numbers here. They might be influencing things, just showing you the sentiment overall. Talk about eggflation. Yeah, eggs, milkflation. Yeah, Croc's coming back down, kind of flat though. But look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA all the way back up, man. We had Meta earnings yesterday. Carvana. What else? Crocs. In terms of the newest earnings reports, though. Moderna. Crocs. Roblox today at 8 a.m. So Roblox drops in about 50 minutes. What's up, Mike? ARM's still rising back up. ARM reported yesterday, too. I'm looking at all the other news stories today. Meta? Yeah, dude. Meta up to 510s. You guys remember I bought the dip a couple days ago. Now it's up ridiculous amounts. ARM is bouncing back, too. Look at ARM on all the way to the right. Yeah. Yeah, I bought the dip in Meta a couple days ago. Meta crushed it. Yeah. Do you think yesterday's broken arm, is there any chance for 140s? Yeah, I mean, there's a chance today. It's not that unreasonable. It'd still be red overnight, even if it hits 140s. I don't think it's gonna do it, but it could certainly do it. I'm not sure. All right, QCOM at 178.60s. So QCOM is still pretty red from its earnings yesterday as well. Croc's still at 135s. Why is the light on? Yeah. We asked people, would you rather the light on or off? I kind of like it doomy and gloomy here in the morning. But some people want the light on, so I'm humoring them. Yeah, I like to be a vampire most mornings, so, you know. Where's Microsoft? Yeah, Microsoft up to 420s. I'm in Microsoft as well. My average price is 393s. Yeah, aside from my T-build, like average monthly pullback, every month T-build pulls back and then bounces and then pulls back and bounces. Pays my dividend this week though, so. Yeah, so they should pay me my dividend. Yeah. So it's going to be sometime. We're also green on NVIDIA again today, man. NVIDIA's up a lot this morning. Apple's up. We're in Apple. Hey, what's up, Sass? Tesla tanking while everything's up. Is it really? Is Tesla down? Yeah, look at NVIDIA go, guys. NVIDIA back up over 120s at 120.66. Tesla's down a little bit. I don't know if I'd describe it as tanking. Tesla looks mostly flat. And I think if Tesla holds these gains at around 230s, it's going to be fine. Right? Like, here's a 30-minute chart. Tesla actually still on kind of like a slightly upward trend, I think. You know, Tesla over 230s. That's good, I think, right? Good green day yesterday too. Yes, the Bank of England cut rates 25 basis point. But again, they're much different than the US in terms of their decisions, right? Like they just make different decisions. Everybody's cutting too early, maybe. I gotta go grab my coffee, guys. While I'm back, I'm gonna do a big question. Do you think we cut rates in September? Answer the question in chat. I'll be right back. So stick around. Yeah, so a lot of big earnings reports this season so far. We still got lots more, though. Yesterday we had Meta. But while I'm gone again, let me know, do you think we cut rates in September? And answer in chat. Yeah. Do you think we cut rates in September? I think we personally do. Right. I think it's time to cut rates. I think we need to cut rates. Oh, okay. So look at NVIDIA still go, man. Do you think we should cut rates in September? I don't know, man. I don't think we should still. Not unless inflation gets much better. But 80% chance of a cut in September. No cut in September. There's so much pressure to cut. Absolutely. I think we're going to cut rates. I don't think it's a good move to cut rates. Before you go, will the SPY fill the gap at 565? Or will it go to 537? What gap? Where's the gap that you see? I don't know. I mean, we're right at the bottom of the trend line. Ultimately, what it really depends on, what the kind of end-all, be-all of this is Amazon and Apple earnings. Amazon and Apple earnings are going to be the influence of this. They're going to be the move that drives everything. Amazon, Apple earnings this afternoon. We're going to stream live like we always do. Citron, mostly depends on what graphs are going to show, but given elections, yeah. Housing is going to rip as it did, yeah. Yeah, non-farm payrolls tomorrow is like a huge report. So non-farm payroll reports crazy big, crazy big. We'll see, but that report is huge. Housing's going to go as it did here in Canada. Inflation's going to spike up again within 6 months of rate cuts, and we'll be back to square one. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much we cut rates. If we cut rates once and then don't do it again and pause for the rest of the year, fine. Like, we'll be okay. If we continue to raise rates every meeting by some weird election pressure, that's bad. And that's going to make inflation worse. And then people are going to be sitting there unhappy like, hey, guys, my prices are going up. These politicians. And it's like most of the time they're pushing for rate cuts. Like, most of the time, the same people complaining are pushing for rate cuts, Like, you can't have low inflation environments and and low interest rate environments simultaneously for long periods of time, One's going to break, right? If you keep a low interest rate environment, inflation's going to break. If you keep a low inflation environment for too long, the economy's going to break. So that's what the biggest thing people have to understand is that you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your inflation and get a cheap mortgage also. All right, that's just life. Yeah, y'all do me a favor, slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. We had thousands here for the FOMC meeting. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Yeah. Tomorrow, non-farm payroll data, unemployment. Yeah, I always hated that saying, can't have your cake and eat it too. It's like, well, then why the heck do I have cake, bro? Like, why would I have cake if I can't eat it? You know? Like, what's the purpose of that? Like, oh, well, have your cake and eat it too. You're acting like that's two different use case arguments. Like to have cake and then eat cake. And they're both good. Having cake without eating cake's a downside, you know? Freaking Marie Antoinette. Jerk, you know? Anyways. All right, guys. QCOM at 179. Yeah. I mean, I understand it, Kyle. Like, I really do. Like, I understand it. But I always thought it was a dumb, confusing saying. If we were having cake, can we have it the shape of a rocket? Personally, I'm like a big ice cream guy. I like ice cream cake. Shake Shack is bouncing? Is it really? It is. It's up to 102s. I'm assuming this is earnings that I didn't realize we had today for Shake. Shake Shack earnings coming out right now. No? We also have Ferrari dropping early this morning. MR... They're out already. Crocs is out. Roblox drops at 8 a.m. They're expecting a loss of 40 cents a share for Roblox. 40 cents a share. They're already down to $40 a share for Roblox. We'll see if they hold. There's Tesla on the right side. Here's Roblox. They're at 41.60s. I'm waiting for my coffee to cool down. Yeah. Siri? Yeah, I know Siri had earnings. Honestly, though, what is the future of Siri? Like, I can't imagine that Siri's going to be successful long term. They might be gapping up a little bit from their earnings, but Siri's one of these companies that is kind of like it's kind of like Blockbuster, you know? Like, nobody uses the radio anymore, especially not, like, conventional radio, at least. And so that's a big problem for Siri. Although I do think they probably got like a cult following, but I can't imagine they stay like healthy for very long. Sirius is almost certainly done as a company within the next 10 years. You know, the question is how long do they stick around? You know, there's still a couple dollars a share, but yeah, I'm in gold. Howard Stern, yeah. I don't know how Siri is making money. Yeah, they've got to be pretty obsolete at this point, right? Ugh. Yeah, where's Bitcoin at throughout the day? So Bitcoin all the way back down under 65K, so it's still struggling to find profits. When is a 30% drop in the stock market coming? Who knows, man? You know, I'm Honestly, how big was this last drop? So the last drop was from 565 down to 540 on the S&P. Let's see what the percentage drop is. Let me do the math. Down to 540. So yeah, the SPY has really only dropped about 4.4%. So the SPY is really only down about 4.4%. It's not a huge drop, you know. The SPY is only down 4.4%. That's not a crazy big drop. What's really down the most is like the NASDAQ here. Like Nvidia, the NASDAQ. Here's the Q. Q's a little bit deeper of a drop. It dropped from 503s down to 455. So this was a much bigger percentage drop. So the Q dropped roughly 10%, 9.5%, but we're going to call it 10 to make it easy. Roughly 10% drop in the Q. Nvidia, the big one that really is influencing all of this, dropped from like 25%. So Nvidia dropped from 140s down to 103s basically. Which was a 26.5% drop. So Nvidia down. It's a big drop. 26.5%. It's a big drop. Now the question that everybody asks is it time to buy up Nvidia now with this, or is it going to keep going down? Dude, my question marks are always terrible. Top 3 worst drawing question marks in the world right now. Look at this. My question marks look like this. What is that? Brother, you know? That's better. Question is it time to buy the dip for Nvidia? I don't know. I'm late making my coffee this morning, so I just really want to sip my coffee. All right. You don't realize how much you use coffee until you get up in the morning and don't drink it. Like, I forgot to drink coffee on Saturday this past week. Like, bro, I laid in bed until like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then my head I had a bad headache. I almost want to get off coffee from it, though. Keep reading that this should be a bad month, but yesterday was pretty good. Yeah, well, that's kind of what it's kind of a shock how, it really is kind of a shock how correlated negative sentiment. So you'll have like analysts will say the market is going to go like this, right? Analysts say the market is going to go like that. What the market ends up actually doing, reality, ends up going like this. And so you got to ask yourself, are they doing this intentionally? You know, are they doing this on purpose, knowing the market's about to bounce because they want cheaper entries ahead of it? You know, analysts are going to act like the market's going to crash and tank. And this is why you get a lot of people regurgitating back. It's also kind of an election year. And so during election years, you're going to have more, look how bad everything is, you know, pitchforks and stuff. And so it's a little bit more nuanced. The Nvidia dip happened $20 ago. Yeah, Nvidia is all the way back to 120s now. You know, so again, Nvidia, I've been Nvidia this whole time. Nvidia is all the way back to 120s. Still rising back this morning. You know, if you look at Nvidia right now. Now, again, this is on the heels of big tech, Meta, Amazon earnings this afternoon. The dip is undipped. Yep. Yeah, and again, this is coming from somebody that has watched the stock market daily, closely, like run an analyst like YouTube channel about the stock market and trading for years. And I do see the correlation, right? When the market's looking really, really bad, people like analysts a lot of the time act like it's just going to get a lot worse, and then everybody panics and sells, and then they get cheap entries and buy it up, and then the markets end up running from it. You know, we had this in 2022. The same thing happened. The market was really, really low. I was buying up stuff, but a lot of people were regurgitating analyst sentiments. Oh yeah, definitely top 3 most nuanced sayer in the world right now. But yeah, jobless claims. Guys, we got jobless claims, unemployment filings in an hour. Let me get a timer up. Yeah, I definitely say nuanced a lot. It's definitely in my, oh, I got a timer up. It's definitely in my catalog of words. Alright. So I went to jiu-jitsu last night. Ugh. Alright, guys, so Moderna dropped their numbers. Intercontinental Exchange dropped their numbers. We did have Challenger job cuts. They showed up at 25.88 thousand. They expected 48K. So more Challenger layoffs than expected here. Alright, so the Bank of England governor post-meeting statement reiterates that today's rate cut decision was finally balanced. So, the repertoire, yeah. Vocabulary. There's so much nuance with the word nuance, you know. We just got to use it a lot. The nuance of my conversation, you know, makes it so that I just got to use the word nuanced a lot, you know, in a super nuanced way. Anyways, QCOM at 179's chat, 179's. I quit drinking and my pockets are full of money. Hey, congrats, man. That's how it goes. Honestly, dude, it's been hard. Like, I've got lots of good, like, I've got a bunch of friends. But, like, a lot of the time my kids will make friends. And then their parents, like, want to hang out with us, you know? When really I find it just kind of awkward and forced, right? Like, my kids can be friends and we don't need to be friends too. But a lot of the times when they've tried to be friends, they're just, like, deep drinkers. And I'm just not that. Like, I don't drink, like, ever. Unless I'm at, like, a wedding, you know? And I think a lot of adults are, like, stuck on it, right? Where if they stop, they get sick, you know? And so they're always trying to go out and they're taking their kids to like all kind of dumb stuff like bars, dude, like sports bars and stuff just so they can justify drinking more. I don't know, man. I just never got behind that. Too much. It's bad for you. I can't do jiu-jitsu if I drink, you know. Why did small and mid caps go down so abruptly at the end of the speech? Because the market was pumping. And small and mid caps like the Russell, like RTY, are going to go inversely to stocks in the blue chip stocks, like equity stocks. So like the Russell is going to move inversely to equities, if that makes sense. Right? So, yeah, you can see the Russell's been like breaking down today. A lot of other stuff's moving up. Yeah. All right, guys. Jobless claims. Yeah, so SPY at 553s. Everything looks pretty good today. Market looks good and better balance. You know, again, we're on the heels of Apple and Amazon earnings, which are behemoth earnings reports. Bobby Fischer had one of the most arrogant quotes of all time. You gotta love it, though, right? You gotta love it. Bobby Fischer says, quote, I object to be calling a chess... let me rephrase. Let me drink a sip of coffee before I say this quote. All right, there we go. I object to being called a chess genius because I consider myself to be an all-around genius who just happens to play chess, which is rather different. He said the guy he's playing, a piece of garbage like blank, might be called a chess genius, but he's an idiot savant. Outside of chess, he knows nothing. End quote. Bobby Fischer. You know, you love to see it. You got to respect it, you know. All right, guys, the Q at 471s, still 471s on the NASDAQ. NVIDIA is still at 120s. I think 120 is a big psychological level for NVIDIA here. Big psychological level. I would like Apple to miss. Do you think Amazon will beat and move higher? Maybe. It might beat and move lower. It might miss and move higher. You know, you never know. Yeah, I've seen searching for Bobby Fischer. The Queen's Gambit is actually pretty good too, even though the Queen's Gambit, if you ever see the chess show, the Queen's Gambit, it's actually Bobby Fischer's life what inspired their story was Bobby Fischer's life, you know. Any opinion on the fastest free website for data? I mean, not really. I use a bunch of different sources. Some of my friends quit coming around after I quit. That's the way it is. Yeah. I've had people that wanted to make friends with me, right? Even people that wanted to get involved with business with me, right? Like, I've had a couple people that wanted to get involved with business with me, but their personalities were just so, like, unstable, right? Like, they would always either want to drink or do stuff, and then, like, as soon as I see that I can't hang out with somebody normally without them, like, you know, just constantly trying to drink or do something dumb, then, like, I'm just gonna distance myself from them, you know. Anyway, Siri, I can't imagine Siri sticks around. Look at that Tesla, though. Tesla is up. I am in MU as well. Here's MU. And MU's up a little bit. Still red. Slightly red on my position of MU, but I'm also in Nike, and Nike started to bounce back too. Silver gold at a strong night. Yeah, the Queen's Gambit's really good. All right, guys. Jobless claims unemployment filings dropping very soon, chat. Very soon. And Big Red on MU. Yeah, I'm in Nike. Like, I think a lot of stuff's going to be waiting today. I'm in Etsy as well, but Etsy's down. Part of me wants to just sell Etsy. Like, I'm down such a small amount of money in this one. I think it's probably time to just unload on this. Yeah. I'm out of Etsy. Just not worth it. It's not worth it. But there's MU. AMD also had earnings this week. Still pretty green from it, leading into Apple, Amazon earnings, which are massive here. Again, I'm still pretty green on AMD. Or I'm not on AMD. On my whole portfolio is green. We've been lightening it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm excited for the House of Dragon finale, bro. I'm really excited. I love the last episode. I like Hugh, you know. I like Hugh and Ulf too. They're both great characters. You know? I was wondering where they were going with them. You know. All right, Nvidia is still flat, trending sideways. There's AMD. Anything else you guys want to look at? Like, here's Tesla. Tesla at 230s. We still got almost an hour before jobless claims unemployment filings drop. Yeah, what's up, Spawn? Spawn and Pawn. MPWR. Yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got 70 likes, guys. We could burst over 100 real quick if you guys can. Do it now. I would never pressure you. If you don't, I'll hate you forever. Do it now. Chat. Look at my hair. Y'all want to see my hair? People always talk about my hair. My daughter always talks about my hair. About how, oh, it's so great and curly. You know? Like, bro, I get up in the morning and my hair is so, like, puffy is the easiest way to put it. Like, it's just puffy. You know? I don't know what to do with it. I'm just going to leave it. I cut it really short. When it gets long, it's a problem. So definitely top 3. What are your thoughts on investing in real estate this year? I think if you can find good deals with cash, it's fine, but you shouldn't be buying, you know, you shouldn't be getting a high mortgage right now unless you got a low interest, you know, situation. Like, if you can't get under 5% interest, you shouldn't be buying a house right now. Unless you're paying cash. There's some good deals if you pay cash. If you pay cash right now, you put out a bunch of lowball offers, you can get some good deals because people want cash and they want to close and they don't want to worry about mortgages and all the unknowns. But if you're not paying cash, it's probably not the best time. I would wait a year, let rates go down a little bit first. Rates should probably start decreasing. If we cut in September, which we probably will, actual interest rates for everybody, like mortgage rates, MBA rates, they're probably going to start going down, I would say, within like 8 to 1.5 years. 8 months to 1.5 years. And so it's just not the time to buy real estate right now with a mortgage, in my opinion. You know, not unless you buy cash. Cash is fine. You can get some good deals with cash right now. All right, guys. 45 minutes. Again, the big thing is Apple and Amazon earnings today. Anybody see judo in the Olympics? All right, chat. All right, chat. Man, Etsy just fell, so it looks like it was probably a good thing I sold. QCOM tried to bounce up too. Let me check back on the chat here. Intel. Judo's fun. Amazon expected move is 6.4%. I agree. I never play with interest rates because I feel like it makes the rich richer and the poor poor. I mean, I don't think that's the right mindset. Like, look, people can take this mindset of, oh, well, you know, it makes the rich richer and the poor poor. I think you have to play with the games like that. You have to, look, life's a game, man. In terms of money making, it's a game. The whole thing's a big game, right? You know, I don't think it's necessarily good to hate the rich, right? Because I think that just shows like insecurity. I think you learn from them as much as you can, and you use that knowledge to build your own stuff and figure it out that way. I think if you hate the rich too much, then you're just gonna lose sight of what you got to do. You got to embrace change and learn how to operate, I think, in a lot of different ways. But yeah, I haven't watched it at all this year. I wish they would do jiu-jitsu in the Olympics. They should. Jiu-jitsu is a very widely practiced sport everywhere. You know, they've got sambo, they've got all these different variations. Just make a grappling division. I'm pretty sure the Russians would win though. But still. All right, guys. Yeah, so again, jobless claims are expected at, we'll see how much they move markets. Honestly, guys, the Fed decision and meeting didn't really move markets that much. Jobless claims are expected at 336K. Or 236, I mean. Last time we showed up at 235. Do unemployment filings come in higher or lower? We will cover the full release at 8:30 a.m. I'll put this up on screen. What's your preferred coffee brand? I mean, I used to go with like Community Coffee because I'm Louisianian, but over time, I just get some type of organic light roast coffee, light or dark roasted. I don't ever even notice any difference. I just drink whatever, organic preferably. 4.1% unemployment, delayed response. Yeah. All right, guys, we got 40 minutes. 40 minutes. All right. Again, guys, so yesterday Meta reported second quarter revenue of $39 billion, surpassing analyst expectations of $38 billion. They also reported adjusted EPS of $5.16. Way better than expected numbers here for Meta. Way better than expected. Here's Meta right here. So again, they beat earnings really well. They did really, really nice for earnings. They're testing the highs of pre-market as well. Nvidia is starting to pull back a little bit. But yeah, Exxon and its partner have filed arbitration claims asserting their right of first refusal to any sale of Hess stake in Guyana oil producing joint venture. It could potentially hinder Chevron in their proposed $53 billion acquisition of Hess. The arbitration panel is now expected to hear these claims, so we're watching for that as well. There's also some other news in takeovers. The EU Commission on Thursday said it had unconditionally approved the $14 billion takeover of networking gear maker Juniper by Hewlett Packard. Jobless claims coming out pretty soon, chat. But yeah. Mark Zuckerberg also said, like, referencing AI systems and databases, Mark Z said his company in their $405 billion model, Llama 3.1, has, quote, better cost performance compared to leading closed models, possibly referring to OpenAI's ChatGPT. So that's an interesting look at this as well. All right, so we do have some ARM down 10%. I am going to be looking at ARM today, although ARM's PE ratio is so freaking high. Honestly, though, guys, so I have this indicator that I built. Like, I want to show you this indicator that I built. I have this indicator that I built on my screen. Like, check it out. Like, it's honestly really impressive. Like, this thing works a lot of the time, man. So, like, check it out. So, I built this indicator, chat. I'm not going to tell you what's in it. All right. I'm not going to tell you, like, how it works or anything like that, because I don't know what I'm going to do with it, you know? But I built this, and to be honest, it's kind of a powerful thing. Let me see. Let me add it. What is this? I have to find it. Hold on. Bear with me. Watch. But I'll show you this indicator. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. That's not it. Here it is. Right. So check this out. So here's the indicator. Here's the SPY. You know. And again, these don't repaint. I'm pretty sure. Like, look at it. So this is a 1 minute chart. Here's the bear alert. Beautiful downward pressure. Beautiful downward action. Here's the bullish alert we got at 3 a.m. this morning in pre-market. Pretty good. Pretty good. I've still got some more testing to do on it, but not bad. Not bad. You know, and the rise of AI and stuff like this is just going to make it huge. So look, here's another one. So check it out. Indicator showed up right here. I actually have it set up on TOS as well. Indicator showed up right there. We never broke below that point. Look at that. Got the full bottom prediction. Keep going back here. I haven't really tested it on longer time frames. I think I have tested it on like a 1 or a 5 minute chart. Yeah, like look at this. Look, bullish indicator, boom, bounce. Bearish indicator, boom, pullback. What'd I do? I messed something up. What do you guys think of it? Let's keep looking at it. See, this one was wrong. That's the first one, wrong one. That's like 1 out of 5. This one we got to bounce. Look at this red indicator, bear follow through. Bullish one we got to bounce. It's like 1 out of 7 that didn't work. Look at this one too. Literally called the tops and bottoms here. Look, showed up here, boom, follow through. Showed up here, boom, bounce. This one didn't work. So that's only 2 that didn't work out of what, like 10 just now? And we did get a follow through candle afterwards too, just to clarify. But that's the second one that didn't work. This one didn't work either. That's 3. And I'm wondering if you target it during market hours, whether there's going to be some benefit. This one followed through a little bit. Look at the red one. Boom. Breakdown. Look, green one, boom. Look, red one, boom, breakdown. Red one, boom, breakdown. This one didn't work. So that's 3 out of like 12 or 13. 14. That's 4 out of 14. Look at these, though. These are the ones that I'm really impressed by it, too. Like, look, red action, boom. Green action, boom. It seems to work the best almost in pre-market as well. Like, look at these. Look at that. That's pretty impressive, dude. I like it. It honestly works. I have to test it, but look at that. Yeah, so I'm going to take it off the screen. That's for me to use in the background chat, sorry. But, yeah, honestly, I might buy this dip on the SPY. I'm going to buy this dip on the SPY and day trade a little bit today. If I can hurry up and get in. All right, we're at 100 shares of the SPY. Might be able to take like a little bit more. Let's see. I'll try to get filled down there with another 100. Gold on the rise. A little bit, Faye, but I'm also a developer as well, right? So we're using PineScript to build it. I don't know much ThinkScript though, so what PineScript did allow me to do is move it over from PineScript to ThinkScript, which is a completely different language. All right, so we did get a little bounce of the VWAP here. A lot of this is going to depend on NVIDIA. So we're in 200 shares. I think we're going to get choppy behavior today. I thought we would get behavior like that yesterday, though, and we didn't at all. Like, we ended up just flying up. I'm going to take a piece off of this. Probably a little bit too large for early in session. Yeah. We'll hold 100 shares, see if it works. It's unlikely Powell didn't get a sneak peek on the jobless claims for today. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hold this for too long. Like, I'm just kind of playing around with the SPY this morning. The trade moved so, like such a big range on the SPY for a couple hundred shares. I'm just limiting my risk here, and we'll let the rest ride. I'm going to try to hold this for the next 30 minutes until jobless claims numbers show up. Because we're right over the VWAP now, but if we reject, I do have to cut it. Thoughts on American Airlines? Airlines are risky right now, I think. But again, maybe not. No, I didn't take the trade based off of that, no. Basically a flat trade right now. We're down 10 bucks, but if we get some better looks, I will add right back to it. I just kind of, if it looks good, I'll add size to it. If it looks bad, I'll reduce my size in the trade. I have no problems or qualms with doing that. I'm not too stubborn about trades. Like, I don't care if I lose $20. It's nothing, you know. Yeah, so Apple earnings this evening are going to be crazy big, crazy relevant. All right, chat. Prediction today for jobless claims. Higher or lower? What do you guys think? Higher or lower jobless claims numbers? See, the problem, what I think is, the reason I kind of want to add size back, and I know I'm kind of like mismanaging this trade, is because I think NVIDIA is about to bounce. So we're going to try to take a little risk here. I think NVIDIA is about to bounce. I think the Q's down a lot short term. If NVIDIA bounces, it might drag the SPY up. I might have should have taken the Q. The Q is what's dropped a lot. So that Q might have been the one to buy. In fact, do I want to take both? I don't know. Is this an actual drop on the Q? No. Okay, I was about to say. That's a huge... Alright, so we added our size right back. I guess we'll stay in the SPY. I was thinking about adding some to the Q as well, but it's alright. Are there any NASDAQ APIs? Yeah, there's tons of APIs. Looking at the poll, 65% think higher than expected for jobless claims unemployment filings. 35% think lower. Honestly, guys, I'm going to tell you guys this again. Like, I'm going to say this again. See, look, now we're green on the trade. Yep. See, again, I don't mind adding it back. We're actually green on the trade now. I got 75 shares left. Again, I thought NVIDIA was going to bounce. The thesis of the trade worked. We're going to go take a little bit more off, and we'll just sit on the rest. Oh, no, I took 50 shares. Crap. Do I want to add back? Yes, I think so. We'll try to add back at a lower price. Man, we just shot up. Alright, we're at 75 shares. I wanted a higher price. We're back over the VWAP here. We might add our size right back. We got a little cushion that we can play with now. I accidentally sold all my shares. Let's maybe add some back here. I want to get in at the bid, but that's going to be a harder price to get filled at, and that's a little high for the bid. I'll wait. NVIDIA's up 15% since yesterday. Sure, but what I was predicting was short-term bounces, right? Like, a lot of people take stuff out of context, you know, where, like, an example of this is I'll say, hey, I think NVIDIA's going to bounce, right? And so they'll bring up what NVIDIA's done over the last 3 months or something, which is long-term look. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the next 10 minutes, you know? And so, again, why did I buy this trade? Terrible fill on my end. Why did I buy this trade? We didn't quite take advantage of it like we wanted, but we went from very red to very green. We bought this trade because we thought NVIDIA was about to bounce, and this is when NVIDIA was down here. Why did we think NVIDIA was about to bounce? Because NVIDIA's had a very large pullback all morning. It's approaching major milestone levels like the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. Those levels are going to influence the price, and NVIDIA tends to follow those levels when it has high volume mornings like today. And so as we approach the 200 EMA, we had a logical thought process of, hey, if NVIDIA bounces, it's going to drag the SPY up. We're right around milestone levels. Let's try to buy it, and it worked. We'll see what we do on the rest, but we're green, at least. Could have made more. I need to scale up for sure, but it's all good. Again, Meta. Honestly, Meta's numbers are very, very, very good. The reason I might want to buy back in Meta is because Meta, like, okay, so I used to be bearish on Meta. I was bearish on Meta because I thought that Facebook was losing interest in Steam, People didn't want to use Facebook like they once did. Instagram's still big, but even other social media platforms taking attention away from that. What makes me optimist in Meta now is outside of social media, they have the Oculus Quest headset system. The new one, the Quest 3, my kids want to use it, which is different than the previous one. My kids' friends play it with them all the time, right? So it's popular for young people and for people in general as a gaming system. And so I think as that gets better, and I think the technology is getting better and better every year, as that gets better, I think Meta's going to do really, really well from it. You know, and this is a little bit different than thoughts I've had previously on Meta, but yeah, I think if they do it right, they're going to be fine. So I can get that 25 shares off here. Alright, we'll just get it. Show us your office. Well, my office is kind of a mess right now, but that's alright. This is my office right here. Yeah, that's my office. You could trade 23 hours a day. So you have to close. They need to be day trades. You can only day trade. So you can't trade. You can't overnight hold anything on Apex. So it's only day trades. So you can, I think, but only if they're day trades. Yeah. So the Bank of England cut rates. Are they in a recession? Yeah, so they cut interest rates 5%, reflecting concerns about the UK economy. While it aims to control inflation and support economic activity, it also highlights economic challenges. They acknowledge that the UK is experiencing a, quote, very mild recession, with GDP contracting slightly at the end of last year. They believe the economy is showing signs of recovery, but they are in a slight recession right now for the Bank of England. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of this trade. We ended up making money when we thought we were going to lose money, so I'll take it. We'll come back to day trading later on today. We're green on a lot of stuff today. We're green on MU. MU, we're very close to green. But MU is just so volatile as well. Nvidia's trying. You don't sell by accident. It's not. I was trying to sell. I wasn't trying to sell that much. I sold too much versus what I was trying to do. I had 75 shares. I was trying to sell 25 shares and keep 50 shares to trade with. Instead, I sold 50 shares and kept 25 shares. So I sold too much. And so at that point, I had to click buy again to re-enter. It ended up working out. Like I said, I ended up making money. I was correct about the bounce, but it's small, very small. These little trades add up though. Like we get into a bunch of micro trades every day and just kind of let, you know, diversification pay me money, you know. Microsoft up a lot today too. We're in Microsoft. So one of the benefits, man, Carlos, dude, you seem hella toxic, bro. I can't tell if you're like just trying to troll, which is probably like the most probable thing, or whether you are not smart enough to understand the context of what happened, you know. My guess is you're probably just trying to troll. So either way, good day to you, sir. Have a great day, Carlos. But you're banned for life. Good day to you, bro. Japan raise rates. Yeah, if we come in lower, does the market go up? I don't know, man. I think it's it's not definitive in terms of what we're going to get. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not going to buy a 12-cent stock, NAM, regardless. You know. Yeah, so they had earnings. So Moderna had earnings today. OPEC Plus also didn't make any recommendations with JMMC as expected, according to delegates. All right, so Bank of England Deputy Governor Ramsden says that everyone on the MPC thinks restrictive policy is needed to squeeze out persistent parts of inflation. We also have, so the ECB Sternaris expects 2 rate cuts this year if disinflation continues. They see the risk of inflation falling below 10% in the near term. Yeah, so again, England's in a different situation than us. England actually wants prices to go up. They want economic activity to boost, which is much different than where we're currently at, where we're fearing economic, we're fearing spending. Morning, John. Do you think Powell wants to cut because he feels weakness? No. I don't. What weakness? You know, I ask this question a lot. Right, base hits get you in the Hall of Fame, 100%. I ask this question a lot though, and you know what I like. I always ask the same thing, which is that listen. Like, okay, what economic weakness are we seeing right now? You know, because again, I hear people, I say, hey guys, in what area is the economy weak enough to justify a rate cut, right? And I almost always get prices, right? Prices are too high. Of course they are. That's not economic weakness that I'm talking about. I'm talking about unemployment. I'm talking about payrolls. I'm talking about numbers here in terms of GDP, right? GDP 2.8% last week. Unemployment 4.1%. Right now, payroll numbers have been higher than expected, right? All of these things do not signal the need for rate cuts. They just don't. And so what areas do you, again, genuine question, but what areas do you think justify rate cuts in terms of economic weakness? And please do not say prices are so high, everybody's unhappy. Because again, that's an argument against rate cuts, right? Rate cuts will make prices worse, prices higher. Yeah. So wait, Lexi, let me get this straight. So your argument for rate cuts is that inflation is going down. Again, if you think we should cut rates soon, what's the argument for it? Genuine question, what's the argument for it? I'm okay with listening. I'm not even necessarily against anybody. Like, I have my own opinions, of course. But if we can have a respectful conversation, it's all good. It's all love. It doesn't matter. But again, I ask this question a lot. I never really hear an answer. Except for the numbers aren't real. Or prices are too high. Right? Prices are too high actually is my argument. Which is that we shouldn't cut rates. Prices are too high. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I'm not talking about UB. I'm never targeting anybody here. These are all just good conversations. Yeah, but debt has been steadily increasing for decades and decades now, you know. Let's do a rate hike. I'm okay with raising rates, to be honest. I think consumer unemployment recession is the only reason, but it could be a big reason. Right, but we don't have super high unemployment or losing GDP right now. England does, but we don't, you know. I know, but Raphael, again, like, you got to give me some actual numbers here. He said, Raphael says, John, you are not right. The rates need to go down. Mid and small companies are struggling and the economy is not too dynamic. Right, but none of that, like, again, okay, we should cut rates if something's breaking in the economy, right? If something's not breaking, we shouldn't cut. Cutting could actually break things. And so, again, what I'm trying to say is nobody's really giving me a super substantial argument for it. Because, again, unemployment's still low, GDP's still positive, payroll numbers are still pretty high, job openings are pretty good. And so all of these things do not signal like a recession risks or anything like that. Where rates are at is entirely fine. The economy should be able to maintain with these rates. 100%. They're not even like objectively crazy high if we look at rates right now, but relative to how they've been, you know. Again, somehow they've convinced people that rate cuts are their solution to the massive inflation problems, and it really genuinely shows how many people don't understand economics. You know, if you think cutting rates is the solution to a struggling, you know, to inflation risks, then again, cutting rates is going to make people more unhappy, not less, because prices are going to go up. One rate cut's fine. Multiple rate cuts back to back to back is terrible, and I hope we don't do that. I'm worried that we're going to cut rates in September, and then we're going to cut rates again in November, and then we're going to cut rates again in December. Right, like that's my big fear, and that's a problem. That's going to make things worse. Nvidia mostly flat right now. We still got 12 minutes left until jobless claims numbers come out. Right, I mean, Raphael, though, again, this goes back to my point. Raphael says people are struggling and have no money. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? The reason that is because rates are is because prices are so high right now, brother. People are struggling. Why do you think that is? They're struggling because prices are too obscenely high. You know, prices are way higher than they've been. Way, way higher, you know? And so if prices are super freaking high, what makes prices get better? Keeping high interest rates. What makes prices get worse and is going to exacerbate the problem and cause people to be more and more unhappy? Cutting interest rates. You know, it's crazy how many people don't see the correlation. There's no explanation that justifies rate cuts for you. Well, because nobody has any numbers really for me, Femi. And it's all good. I mean, we can agree to disagree. Again, you're saying something breaks 5.5% is historically high. Like, look. Okay, so we are right now, guys, here. Like, we are way down here versus the last 40 years for interest rates, right? It's not like we're way up here at like highs, right? We're way down here. This is where we are. I just don't think that's justified rate cuts, you know? I get it, people involved in real estate have like confirmation bias, but I don't know. Yeah. Mom, can we get job openings? No, dear. We have job openings at home. Job opening at home. Yeah. Yeah, rates are normal. I agree. Yeah, I would love to have 10% interest if I have cash. I don't even need to buy stocks. Sure. You know. Savers make less with rate cuts, and if you think cost of goods will come down, you are crazy. Yeah. All right, guys, 10 minutes. Jobless claims, unemployment filings, 10 minutes, chat. You guys ready? What do you guys think for jobless claims? What do you guys think they show up as? Will jobless claims show up higher or lower than expected, guys? I don't know. I don't know. Jobless claims expected at 236. Last time they showed up at 235s. Chat, 235s. We got 9 minutes left. Guys, 9 minutes. Yeah, the problem is that like rates over the last 10 years especially have been, prior to the last 4 years at least, rates were very, very low. They were at like 2.5%, 3%, and they stayed that way for a long time. You know, people got used to that. Businesses got used to it. You know, lenders got used to it, you know. And so then when prices come back to normal a little bit, which is really what it is, like 5.5 is back to normal, really. Then people are going to act like they're just some record highs, and they're not. They're pretty normal for everything. And that's the big issue, is that businesses got used to a very low interest rate environment, and that's not sustainable. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Jobless claims, chat. Jobless claims. I hope it's a lot higher. Claims, so maybe a rate cut. Yeah, well, September, if you watched the Fed meeting yesterday, we're probably going to cut rates in September, I think. So I think it's very possible that we cut rates in September. When you watch Jerome Powell, he was asked numerous times during the Q&A, hey, are we going to cut rates in September? From what I could see, yes, we're going to cut rates in September. But again, we'll see what it looks like afterwards, and what the Fed decides to do at the following meeting after September. I think is the big question. SPY move it up, chat. SPY move it up. Nvidia move it up. Q moving up. So we got jobless claims today. Tomorrow is non-farm payrolls and unemployment reports. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So Lexi, in what way? Where's the numbers to back that up? Maybe you're right, I don't know. Yeah, my lights are on in my room. Alright guys, SPY up to 553s. Jobless claims coming out soon, chat. Again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You guys like this beat? All right, team. Hope you guys are ready. Six minutes. Again, so jobless claims filings, guys, or how many people are filing for unemployment week to week. This is a weekly report. Oh, guys, no, the bots are back, bro. I got the first botted comment that I've gotten in weeks. The first botted comment is back here, guys. I thought the algorithm changes got rid of these bots, but the first botted comment is back. It's the first botted comment I've gotten in freaking weeks. The scammer bots have been gone. The scammer bots. Do you know Cynthia? Cynthia helped me earn $7,328.38.5 yesterday. What a glorious portfolio manager. You know Cynthia too? Yes, I do. Kindly go to Telegram. The spam bots, bro, they catch people. But anyways, they've been gone. Now I just got one back. So I don't know if that means good or bad. I'm not really happy about it, but anyways, 5 minutes, chat. 5 minutes for jobless claims numbers. Look at the SPY run. SPY bouncing. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Phoebe. The higher a report means good or bad news for the stock market. So higher jobless claims means more people filing for unemployment, which you might think is like a bad thing. It's not necessarily bad. It might mean good things. Like how many people are filing for unemployment week to week is what this report shows. The rates don't bother me, but high food and gas costs do. I own my home at a lock rate of 2.7, but costs are too high. Right, but if costs are too high, what keeping interest rates high is doing is lowering those costs, Daphne. That's why we've seen improvement in like PCE and CPI inflation over the past year. England isn't technically a recession. Yeah, we got ISM data today too. Manufacturing jobs report. All right, chat, 4 minutes. Do you guys like it with the room so bright? All right, here we go. 4 minutes, chat. Huge upgrades coming into Meta, $600. Cynthia gave me an old-fashioned. All right, team. Here we go. Get ready. NVIDIA dipping down a little bit ahead of this report. We got a couple minutes left. I prefer the dark. Honestly, I prefer the dark too, if I'm being completely real. Like, I prefer the dark too. The dark is just simply, like, more comfortable. Like, it's less stressful with the lights on. Or with the lights off, you know. Alright. Alright, here we go, guys. 3 minutes. Jobless claims, unemployment filings coming out soon. We will see if they get anything good. 3 minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Get the drum roll out. John, are you showing us your Olympics? No. This is just this is an Astros muscle shirt. Don't you dare call me Forrest Griffin, Blaze. Don't you dare. You know. All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes. We expect it to move up or down. Nobody knows, man. We'll see. Anything can happen. All right, guys, we got about 600 people here live watching. We got a couple minutes left. Look at the SPY up big short term. The NASDAQ up a little bit. Not as much as the SPY, though. NVIDIA did bounce right at 120. 120 is confirming itself to be a major psychological level. Major psychological level. What do you mean the PI? Performance Institute? Is he really? England is not technically in a recession. All right, guys. Couple minutes left. Be ready. It depends on what you call a recession. So April quarter we showed 0% GDP for England. This last quarter we showed a loss of a small decrease GDP wise, I'm pretty sure. All right, guys, here we go. I think if unemployment comes in high, it'll be bullish. Now, remember, this is just a weekly report, right? So this is a small weekly report. It's not a major report. Again, give me your last minute predictions, chat. We got 30 seconds. Tomorrow is the biggest report of the week, though. But here we go. Jobless claims expected at 236, chat. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. This is a little bit early. But 20 seconds, chat. 10 seconds. Jobless claims expected at 236. Again, 236. 5 seconds. 236 is what's expected. And here's the report. Let's watch the market. Honestly, jobless claims showed up at 249, much higher than expected unemployment filings. 249. Look at the market move. 249, higher than expected unemployment filings. Honestly, what this might mean is that if the market moves up on this, the market fears inflation because it's reacting positively to less people working, which means that it genuinely fears inflation. If it moves up, right? It had this big candle wick. Hasn't really gone anywhere since. But again, slightly higher than, or much higher than expected. 248. Yeah, I think we're going to get rate cuts in September only if we don't show inflation spikes. If we show inflation spikes sometime over the next couple weeks, next 6-week period, if we do show inflation spikes, then we're probably not going to get rate cuts. At least I hope we don't. I would think it would be crazy if we inflation spikes and we cut. Anyway, I think that would be a terrible idea. But again, jobless claims unemployment filing showed up at 249K. 249K versus 236 expected. Continuing claims showed up at 1.877 versus 1.56. So higher than expected everywhere here. And again, this is a weekly, like a week-to-week report. The market's reacting positively to this. which is interesting, chat. So the market reacting positively to higher unemployment. Look at the SPY up to 554s right now. 554s on the SPY. So again, market's reacting positively to this. Yeah, recession fears maybe. I don't know. The market looks like positive on this data. Weird. Yeah, again, so the market's moving up on this report. Yeah, again, look at the SPY heading up. Again, SPY's still moving up. NASDAQ moving up. NVIDIA moving up as well. A lot of stuff's approaching highs of the day. Yeah, SPY is right at the highs of the day here. I should have stayed in that long position. We do have ISM PMI data later on this morning too. So we do have ISM data later. Gold pushing up. Yeah. All right, team. All right, so we got a big dip, a big pullback here. I might buy this dip now. See if I get filled. No fill yet. Ah, I wanted it. Didn't get it. Ah, man. Just a little bit too late. I wanted this dip down here. I could have bought the ask and got filled immediately, but it would have been a bad price. Look at Q still pushing up here too. And again, the market reacting positively to higher unemployment data. Yeah, I'm okay with one cut, Femi, to be honest, right? Like I said, I'm okay with one cut. I just hope we don't do multiple cuts back to back to back and destroy prices for the indefinite future. Like, I'm okay with one cut, man. I have bad fill here. I'm okay with one cut. If we keep it at one. If we continue to cut over and over again and people keep giving pressure to, like, massively stimulate the economy like we're having some type of recession, which we're not, then I'm going to have a problem. And then people are going to be really unhappy, too, because prices are going to get worse and worse and worse. Of course, like, real estate, mortgages, lending, banks are going to be happy. But people are not, because people are going to be spending more money on stuff. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, so I don't actually know how I feel about this trade. We got a little cushion we can play with, so it's not the end of the world, but I should have thought about the concept of the first move is the wrong move and thought about, like, high unemployment is typically going to make the market come down. Non-farm productivity is up. High unemployment means less economic growth, which would be good for rate cuts, right? Well, it would signal more of a need to less economic growth is better for inflation problems. The problem is NVIDIA is starting to flush down here. I don't want to get stuck in it. Yeah, guys, I'm going to get out of here. NVIDIA's starting to really fall. Even though it's at the bottom of the range, we'll come back to this and play this a little bit later. Is it possible NVIDIA and Meta will move up today? I mean, I don't know how you guys want me to answer that question. So, Rapid, think about the question you just asked me. Is it possible that NVIDIA and Meta move up today? I mean, what do you want me to say for that question, brother? No? Of course it's possible. Is it possible for, you know, the sun to come up tomorrow? Possibly. You know. Honest question, why wouldn't you think the market wouldn't act positively? There's too many double negatives here, Mr. Scruff. Why wouldn't you think the market wouldn't act positively to higher unemployment claims? Are you asking me why do I think the market... Are you asking me why I didn't think the market would drop from higher unemployment? Is that what you're asking me? It's hard to tell. Like, there's too many... Because a lot of the time, the market over the last few years has reacted positively to higher unemployment because of inflation problems over the last couple years, right? Now, that has gotten better and worse, but... Alright, so we just bought back in here. We'll take a larger risk now. I don't mind taking a larger risk. NVIDIA's right at a 200 EMA level. It broke under some major lows, and I just think we have a chance to bounce. So we're going to try to day trade this here. We got 200 shares. Again, do not copy me. Not an investment professional. Not liable. If you lose, don't copy me. I just think if NVIDIA bounces up a little bit here, it's going to drag the SPY up with me. But maybe not. Yeah, all good, Scruff. Yeah, so, again, you know, you might conventionally look at it and be like, whoa, higher unemployment's bad, right? So the market's going to react negatively. I'm here to tell you that's not always the case, and it's not always as predictable and easy to predict as that. A lot of the time, again, over the last few years, like jobless claims spiked and market went up from it. And vice versa, jobless claims went down and the market decreased from it because of inflation is the main priority and risk. Now, it's not always like that, you know, but a lot of the time it's been like that over the past year, 2 years, really, since we've been in this big inflation-fearing market. It's been like that a lot, you know. Alright, good. Alright, so we just locked in some profit here on this trade. 100 shares left. We'll let the rest ride. We got a cushion now. We were very right about NVIDIA bouncing at this 200 EMA level right here. So we thought we might bounce there, and we did. We bounced directly off of it. I think closer we are to recession, bad news starts being bad. Right, but in what way are we close to a recession, though? Like... And again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I hear people say we're close to a recession. I feel like people just want low interest rates. And so, like, some people just want low interest rates. And so the bias of that is like, oh, well, we need to cut rates. We need to cut rates, you know, or it's like other stuff. But, you know, genuine question, in what ways are we close to a recession? You know, please don't say prices are too high because that's the opposite of what you want. Then you want high interest rates if prices are too high. And please don't give me some like super vague, like, oh, people are unhappy. Like, well, yeah, but give me some numbers, please, you know? I look back, this type of reaction lately, higher jobless claims equals a higher chance of a rate cut was my interpretation. Yeah, that's probably true. But that means the market fears inflation. Or that means the market fears rate cuts. As they should, I think. Alright, so we got our little bounce. Maybe we should have taken profit on it. Now we're basically flat. From the moment when rates are announced, how long does it take for banks to lower loans? There's a lag. I would say like 6 months to a year, Barry. Maybe sooner, but yeah, about six months to a year, maybe longer. Like there's a trickle effect. So again, lowering interest rates to consumers, lowering short-term rates eventually is going to trickle into long-term rates, right? But it takes time. It's a lag. It takes time for prices to reflect the changes. All right, so NVIDIA breaking down big. Q has a double top up here. Yeah, I'm going to have to just cut my little trade. Wait for another opportunity. Unemployment's at 4.1% though, dude. Again, let's look at the conventional recession numbers. GDP. GDP 2.8% is what GDP actually is. Equals no recession, not a recession. Unemployment. Uh, 4.1%, conventionally low. Nope, I'm messing up with my numbers here. You know, any other metrics that we can look at? Payroll numbers, right? Like non-farm payrolls. What did they show up last time? Last time they showed up at 206,000. Non-farm payroll numbers over 200K. Right? These things, at least yet, and again, it's kind of like picking up pennies in front of a train track, right? Where if you keep rates really high for really long, things can break, right? I think that's kind of what everybody's talking about right now, is that if we leave it too high for too long, things are going to break. My only thing is I just don't see it breaking right now. I don't... Unemployment doesn't work like that. Yeah, but another thing that, like, inflation doesn't work like that as well, right? So we can't just have low inflation. We can't have 2.6% PCE and think that it's going to stabilize there if rates start to go down. You know, this is going to snowball to 2.8%, to 3%, to, you know, to higher, very fast if rates get low. Especially if it depends on what happens, but I think if we can cut rates and maintain like a restrictive stance afterwards, that's fine. But who knows if we're going to, and that's a big if. You know, that's a big if. Nvidia being brought to a better buy-in price for that bit. Yeah. All right. And honestly, this report did hurt the market. You can kind of see it. Also, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, guys. We're almost up to 144K. Do it now. I appreciate the love. Hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. Big day today, guys. Apple, Amazon. All right, so we're still pulling back. I don't know if I want to buy it up yet or not. Question is, do you think Nvidia bounces here? Maybe. We'll try it. Yeah, my channel's growing a lot too, man. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much, chat. My channel has 60,000 views in the last 48 hours. 60K, chat, 60K. Thanks so much. All right, so there's a little bounce back up like we wanted. See if we maintain this. Look at Nvidia trying to get back up too. Cut that, let that sit. 0% rates aren't normal, but neither is 5%. No one. I know, but JMO, do you genuinely think? Again, here's an honest question. Do you genuinely think 5% rates are high, like way above average, brother? Genuine question. Does anybody genuinely think that 5% rates are way above average over the last 40 years? Because again, I hate to break it to you, but they're pretty much average. 5%, 5.25%, pretty neutral rates. You know, the problem is that we had such a low interest rate environment for the last 20 years because of specifically 2008 that people got used to it. But again, what's normal is not 2.5% interest rates. In today's economy, I mean, anybody could use today's economy as a justification, you know. I could say a year and a half ago, I could say in today's economy, 10% inflation is normal, guys. You know? But again, we have to look at the context of long term, what's actually normal. Yeah, 5% is a little bit low. Yeah, 80s interest rates, guys, to put it into perspective, were 20%. 20%, you know? So, you got to take that context. Yeah, 0% certainly not normal for short-term rates. My first mortgage was 8.75% in 76, and then went to 21%. Yeah, but I mean, J-Mo, you seem to have a lack of understanding. No offense. It's all love, brother. It really is all love, right? But you seem to have a lack of understanding about inflation and $60,000 was a lot of money when prices for a home were $60K. You know, so $60,000 was a lot of money. Now, I will agree that the rate at which income versus housing price is much worse for us today, sure. But again, we can't always have a low interest rate environment. And for interest rates to go up to like 5.25%, 5.5%, and for people to act like that's just the end of the world scenario, again, just shows a lot of people don't look at history. Yeah, so ISM data definitely big. We're covering it for sure. With that said, though, actually, I gotta change. What is this? 10 a.m. is when PMI data comes out. Yeah, so again, PMI data, guys. Manufacturing. It's a huge report. Let me make sure this is right. All right, sorry guys, I'm typing up keywords here. So there's the SPY ripping back up. All right, so billionaire Keith Griffin is raising his position in AI. Yes, we got a lot of stuff going on today for manufacturing PMI. I wonder if I should just keep this stream going and not worry about a I wonder if I should just keep this stream going and not worry about doing a day trading stream today. What do you guys think? Should I keep this stream going? I'm gonna turn the lights off. It's too bright in here. Like, should I keep this stream going or? There we go. Honestly, this is much more comfortable for me as a person. This is much better. I like this much better. Here, let me catch back up. Do you think I should just keep this stream going, or do you think I should pivot to a day trading stream? All right. Either for me. Let me talk. Alright. Yeah, so we'll keep this one going. That's fine. Just don't cross streams. Yeah, we'll keep this stream going. That's fine. I have to change the title for this one though, but that's okay. Yeah. Alright guys, so jobless claims are out. They showed up much higher than expected. The market has overall reacted negatively. We ended up buying the dip and staying in it, so that's good, but let's get rid of this. It is a jobs report too today, so yeah, it's a big jobs report, so we're still in the SPY. Yeah, we got 10 minutes before ISM data goes live too. Yeah, this is just a little test, and then today we got Apple, Amazon earnings anyway. So yeah, we were the #1 trader for jobless claims today on YouTube, so that's nice. We had the most people watching our jobless claim stream. You get it. We're seeing a lot of lack of interest in the stock market preceding the election is what this is. So, and I notice a lot of other traders are experiencing the same kind of weird decline that we've had. It's interesting. Honestly, it really is interesting. We just haven't seen. I have two theories. Again, either the CrowdStrike thing affected everybody's views, which I think it did, right? I haven't seen spam bots in weeks, right? And my channel is still doing pretty good. Like I said, we got 50, 60,000 views in the last 2 days. But I noticed a lot of channel lost a large percentage of their viewership, like a large percentage. So, again, it's either they got rid of spam bots or the CRWD thing just drastically negatively impacted everybody. I don't know which one it is either. try to keep the jobs data up. Gotta get rid of one. Yeah, so PMI prices are going to be interesting too. Day trading live. Yeah, so again, we're still moving up a little bit in the SPY. Waiting for the 8 o'clock bell to ring. And then... Sorry, let's catch you back up on chat, Nick. We don't really have, like, we don't really ever post anything to our Discord. Your knowledge of news is extremely helpful. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, sorry. Fact of the matter is the rise in prices for products is because companies want to squeeze consumers. Sure, I believe that too. Alright guys, so yeah, we're going to do a day trading stream. Let me get rid of one more here. PMI. ISM PMI data, manufacturing data. There we go. All right, we're good. So yeah, we got 10 minutes. Let me put the timer up. Sorry, we had to do a bunch of stuff. We got the timer back. We got an hour left. We got 59 and a half minutes until PMI data drops. 10 o'clock my time. We are going to be day trading today though, so we'll see how this goes. Put a couple of these up. We're still in the SPY. We lost a little bit yesterday for sure, but it's all right. Let's see if we get treated right today in these markets. Your neutral, realistic feedback on markets is helpful. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But no, so I don't think it's the prop firm wave either. I think it's a mix. Like I was watching mostly penny stock day trader that I know, and his stuff was down big too, right? So I don't think it's just prop firm people. I think it's everybody, to be honest. So yeah, so the news that comes out today, guys, is manufacturing PMI at 9 and ISM PMI at 10. The ISM PMI is the biggest one, though. Yeah, so we're still in the SPY. And ISM data's coming. See, we got this little range here. I don't know how I feel about this. I guess I want to short the top of the range. We'll try to. So, hey chat. So, one day pass is still going. $35 resets. Yeah, so I'm going to take a little bit more off of this SPY trade that I've been in. We're going to take a little bit more off again, we bought the dip. I'm going to add to this now short and then see if we get a correction back down. We got 4 contracts here short. We're at the top of the short-term range right here, and so I think we might have just a little quick little fall. There we go. All right, we take half, take a little bit more, lock that in. 2 contracts left. We got the initial dip that we wanted, and then we're still flushing down some. All right, so we're out. We made about 30 bucks real quick. Again, this is day trading the futures market right now, chat. The futures market. So the Apex sale stays the same. They're continuing it until the 7th, so for another week. Yeah, so the one-day pass thing's still going and everything like that. I don't know, man. So yeah, they continued it for another week. And again, if you want to check out Apex, Apex gives you a demo, test your skill. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail the test, you only lose what you pay for it. And they've paid out millions. They funded thousands of traders. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals. The base one, they're going to give you a 25K demo. If you can make $1,500 in profit without losing $1,500 first and following their rules, they fund you the same amount. No PDT rule. And so again, right now, this is, you get 80% off using my link. So this right now is only $29, right? So this right now is only $29. It's $30 for the 25K challenge, about $40 for the 150, 250, or 300K challenges. So for 30 bucks, they're going to give you a 25K demo, and if you pass the test, you get 25K in funding with a 90% split. Best of both worlds. If you lose, you're only out 30 bucks. It's not the end of the world. And again, they paid out hundreds of millions. In the futures market, I can day trade the NASDAQ, the S&P, gold. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns. There's just no PDT rule. And so again, if you want to check them out, here's the link. They're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money, so I'm biased because they pay me money. But yeah, interesting. Alright, so we did get this big drop. We are at the bottom of this range though, so I'm going to take some size here and buy this dip. See if we can get some profit real quick that we can take. We're already up some. Now we're down. Oof, getting punished here, chat. It looked good, but we got this massive breakdown we just gotta avoid. Look at this huge drop, guys. Wow. Supermicro launched plug and play supercluster for NVIDIA Omniverse. Why the market dump like this? It's usually an economic report. So we got Brazil S&P Global Manufacturing PMI data. We got Bank of England governor speaking. Maybe that's what this is. Yeah. Yeah, so in hindsight, guys, I think I'm going to go to the day trading stream. I think it's just going to be better to go to the day trading stream. So I'm going to go to it. We're going to do a pivot to the day trading stream. Let me edit this so that it is public. And we'll pivot over there at 8:15 market time. Yeah. So, again, we got that big bounce back. Meta. So, Jamie, we're going to go to a day trading stream right now, chat. So, again, we are going to go to a day trading stream like we have been. I just think it's better, and I think it's better for the channel growth. Like, we've been still getting pretty good numbers despite everything. And so, yeah, I think doing the day trading stream and kind of separating pre-market versus day trading is a good move. I see a J. So again, if you haven't already, again, as soon as I hit close, it's going to bring you to the day trading stream pretty soon. We got ISM manufacturing PMI at 10, so we're definitely going to be covering that type of stuff during this as well, for sure. So, yeah. So stick around, because that's what we're definitely going to be covering today during the day trading stream. And if it doesn't, for whatever reason, bring you to the day trading stream, let me make sure this is right. Yeah, so if it doesn't, for whatever reason, bring you to the day trading stream, go to this stream right here. We'll put this up. Yeah, so if it does it, here's the day trading stream. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, bring you, there's the link. And again, as soon as we close this stream, chat, literally as soon as we close it, it's going to bring you to the day trading stream. So we'll see you over there. Again, we got a lot of stuff today, a lot of big reports. And so, yeah. Be there or be square, guys. I'll see you guys over there. Good luck. Again, it should automatically bring you there. It should immediately bring you there, chat. So don't leave. It'll bring you there. I'll see you.